Now, as we move through the two alternative sections, you will see that the writer is beginning to also incorporate images within the text and is doing so here alongside the text without breaking the flow of it. We will look more at incorporating visuals into your documents as the semester goes forward, but the writer had to go into the visual formatting arrange toolbar to move the visual into that position with the text. If I move our view up here and I click on, here's the visual, and if I look into the toolbar here, let me move this up a little bit so you can see it. If I click onto the formatting here, you see this arrange category over here, and this position tool will move that image all over the place. Okay, so you can see that this writer has discovered that and has begun to experiment with that, which is a good thing for this writer and for you as well to do at this point in the semester. So now that we've made it this far into the sample, it might be good to point out that although this document is not nearly as sophisticated in its design and use of rhetorical and design features as the analytical report we looked at in the beginning of the lesson, it is representative of a good place to be as a student in the course at this point of the semester with your skills by the time you are working on and completing the proposal. You will notice, for example, that this writer is starting to utilize chunking or placing spacing in between these text sections. And what this does is it helps the reader navigate through the tighter spacing of the text, which is probably single spacing or close to it in most documents in business. Contrast that again with the use of the indent system and double spacing, for example, that we utilize in other types of writing and communication, especially the ones that we're used to completing and composing in academia. Through a more critical lens, we might suggest a few areas to improve upon that will make this and subsequent communication products from this writer even stronger. Let's just touch on a few before moving forward. Number one, there is an opportunity for parallel sections in the alternative section of the proposal right now. Parallel sections would basically be ones that would follow the same overall organizational structure and ordering of one another. This is very common when comparing and contrasting items in written discourse. Here the writer does begin to discuss aspects of each navigation system in the same order. There's the first one, and here's the second one. But that soon falls apart about halfway through, and so the idea is right, but the application needs more work yet. And if you see here, the sidebar navigation, the idea of chunking also falls apart. This is all one big chunk of text. Okay, you can see how these are different lengths, and they do go in the same order for a while, though. Next, the writer has begun to use second-level heading, but I wonder whether there might be opportunities to utilize third-level headings in places in a document such as this. Consider these two navigation alternative sections. Would there be opportunities to have third-level headings here and different categories other places as well? Likewise, the writer is beginning to make good use of structural devices such as bullets and font options, and it would be good for she or he to continue on exploring and experimenting with those devices, gain experience and proficiency in applying them. Okay, so we've already discussed the heading titles in this audience section and how we might make them more descriptive by using the actual name or descriptions of each audience group. Next, we might also take a look at how the writer might be able to set up a more parallel structure of these subsections or each audience group section, and then create a common introduction that would serve all three subsections at the same time. Further, I wonder whether the writer could explore the available options to retain such a parallel structure but maximize its readability and usability by using structural devices such as third or fourth level headings, bullets, columns, visual tables or charts, etc. Right now we basically have big blocks of text again. See this big block of text? That's all big text. See, there's no breaks in here. These big blocks of text are difficult to penetrate, to interact within, or especially to locate information in. Before I move on to the last sections of this sample proposal, I did want to explain to you that I am focusing more in this video upon the document design and structural issues in this sample proposal, because the project planning worksheets you will begin to build very shortly will go into much greater detail about the content you will need to create, construct, and include in each of the initial sections we have looked at so far. What I'm trying to do is minimize overlap and maximize the time you have to review and learn about these documents and projects this semester. Okay, now these final sections aren't covered by the project planning work, so we'll approach them a little differently here.